Yes, everyone, welcome back to the channel. Time for a little bit of transfer talk. And there seems to be something in this with Kim Min-Jae. There really seems like there's far too much chatter this early in the window for this to just be complete and utter rhubarb. And you'd be like, Steve, I remember what happened with Frankie de Jong. We all do. That doesn't mean that this one doesn't come off as well. So I wanted to look into what's going on with Kim Min-Jae and what it might mean for some of the other players that are in the side. So here's what's being said. United are big favourites to land him by paying his release club, but the club are yet to make a concrete formal approach. So I think we're at the stage where there's like confirmation of whatever this fee is, and then it'll be move on to it as soon as that we can do. Interesting that this is the thing that we at least publicly appear to be pulling the trigger on first, rather than the striker. Now, that could mean a couple of things, that the striker is done or the striker is to be decided, because the lack of talk about a striker, I mean, obviously this talk, we're talking about a striker, did a video yesterday looking at strikers, got another one coming out tomorrow looking at another striker. So we're talking about strikers, but there's not like real this could be happening kind of talk. There's loads of speculation, but nothing really concrete. Now Romano's come out and said that United have been sending scouts to go and look at Kim Min-Jae since October. Now, we did something prior to the World Cup on him, which is about November sort of time. And honestly, it was entirely speculation from when we did that. We was chatting the other day going, did we just fucking manifest this into reality? But it seems like United were already sending scouts prior to us even doing that video. So maybe we just all saw something around about a similar time. Very interesting. But United have been sending scouts ahead of a potential move, according to Fabrizio Romano. And it seems like this hasn't gone away, and if anything, it's seemingly increased in terms of intensity and our attempts to try and get him. What does this mean for the rest of the centre-halves at the club? Well, let's start with Lisandro Martinez. I would say Lisandro Martinez is Manchester United's #1 centre-half. I think he's ahead of Varane because of his resilience, despite the fact that he's currently out injured. I still think he is ahead of Varane in terms of his resilience. He's been our probably most consistent performing centre-back this season. His injury was phenomenally huge for us, and I don't think Kim Min-Jae coming affects Martinez's position in any way whatsoever. I think Kim Min-Jae will either partner him or be backup to him, or potentially back up to the other guy, which therefore means he's back up to him as well if he was to come in. Now, Raphael Varane, I don't think this is as obvious as some people might, at least. Varane's injuries mean that what is a stellar player when he plays probably isn't rated as high as his best performances are. His lack of availability takes him down probably at least 1 score out of 10, I would think. I think he still starts, certainly initially, when fit, over Kim Min-Jae, if he's brought in. But his injuries give Kim Min-Jae a chance. His injuries, and maybe Ten Hag's desire to manage those injuries, might mean that unless he's 100% fit, Raphael Varane takes a seat because we've got Kim Min-Jae. It makes it easier to manage his injuries back to fitness if you've got someone like Kim Min-Jae. It also means that, you know, Martinez is a bit of a walk-in suspension potentially, and he's you know, the way he plays means he's probably going to pick up some injuries himself. So you do have 3 for just the 2 starting positions, and I think that works. I think in the modern game, with the number of matches that you're expected to play at the level you're expected to play, 3 goes into 2 quite nicely. So I don't think that's a massive issue. Even though you don't want to rotate your centre-halves a lot, I don't think you need to. And I think 3 would slide into 2 quite well. Victor Lindelof. Now, Lindelof has been excellent, I think, since the injury to Martinez. I'm playing alongside Raphael Varane. We've really seen the best out of Vic this season. He's put in a shift. He's filled in really well. And I think he's an excellent backup centre-half. Do I think Kim Min-Jae coming in would move him down to the 4th choice? Yes, I do. I think you've got Lindelof as your immediate backup, which would allow you to perhaps let Kim Min-Jae settle into the team without any pressure being on him. But I think realistically, Victor would find himself the 4th choice centre-half. And that's not necessarily the worst thing in the world if you look at all the centre-halves that Manchester City have got, all 27 of them. So I think having 4 centre-halves that you find reliable, I think is a hell of an option for Manchester United. And I think that would be really, really good squad management if you had him. And what a pair of centre-halves you could have as your backup. If you wanted to rotate League Cup, early round of the FA Cup, or Champions League when the group stage is sewn up, and you can call on Kim Min-Jae and Victor Lindelof, now you're talking. Now you're talking. Give Varane and Martinez the night off because they've got a big game at the weekend. Go with Lindelof and Kim Min-Jae. Now you are talking. Now this is a serious football club that's going on and doing serious stuff. Harry Maguire. You all know how I feel on Harry Maguire. Or you should do at least. And if you don't, well, have a guess. If Kim Min-Jae was brought in, Harry Maguire doesn't get a sniff. Harry Maguire currently isn't getting a sniff behind Lindelof, and Luke Shaw played out of position. He is comfortably 5th choice centre-half at the club right this second behind the left-back. If Kim Min-Jae comes in, that relegates him to 6th at best. I think that the chances are Harry Maguire is sold this summer because of those factors. If Kim Min-Jae comes in, Harry Maguire is just further away from being a first choice player, and I don't think it makes any sense. And I think replacing Maguire with Kim Min-Jae is an actual huge upgrade, someone that fits our style of play, and someone that's actually got a lot of qualities that would make him an asset in a team that dominates the ball and is looking to try and win things, as he's just proven. Luke Shaw. Now, I actually don't think it affects Luke Shaw that much, in all honesty. I think Luke Shaw would kind of by default become the 5th centre-half, and probably still first choice left-back. I don't think it affects him in the slightest. He can play in his actual position, where he gives us a bit more going forward. And what he's done is told us that he's got the versatility to fill in should there be an emergency, because it's not uncommon, as we saw very recently, that both of your first choice centre-halves are out. You've got somebody else that can also fill in there as well, so you're not just going to run your 2 backup ones into the ground or maybe make one of them play for an injury. You've got some serious options there. So Kim Min-Jae sorts out a lot of problems. He causes some problems, but nice problems. It makes Ten Hag's job harder in some aspects, but makes it easier in some aspects. I think it's a really good option to have. And from all of the people that have been commenting, we've had a lot of South Korean people comment and tell us that not only is he the technical footballer that we can all observe, but actually that the character of him, that he's a real leader as well. And I like that. I do like that about him. Do I think he could push into the starting 11? I do. I think it would be Varane's place that he probably takes, and makes a very combative partnership potentially there with Martinez. But I do think he could push for it. Whether or not he gets it remain to be seen. See what you guys are saying. Patrick says sell Harry Maguire, Anthony Martial, Scotty, Delo, and Donny. Probably raise some good money. And of Henderson, there's some talk that Henderson could raise us 30 million. So that's a nice little start to go into the transfer kitty this summer, isn't it? Stuart says, good day from Melbourne, Steve. Darren says, do you think that there's a chance Varane is sold, bearing in mind his injury record and the wages he's on? I couldn't say no, because I think you're right in terms of identifying the fact that he's on extremely high wages. The club might want to move in a different direction with that. I'd be very surprised. I'd be very, very surprised if they did. I think that they're trying to assemble a team that's capable of winning the league. I hope they're trying to assemble a team that's capable of winning the league, and I think having Raphael Varane in there helps that. Ross says get around 40 to 50 mil for Maguire. I don't think it'd be 50, but I do think you can certainly go into a meeting and ask for 40. I believe. I think you could do that. SR says, afternoon, managed to catch one of these live. 4 decent centre-backs. Would be like when we had York, Cole, Sheringham and Ollie. Maguire for Onana from Everton, possibly. I like him. I think he's got an option. Joe says sell Maguire. Brian says Maguire shouldn't even be playing with the reserves. Needs to leave now. Darren says, think there's a chance Varane. Oh, we read that one. Maguire got to go no matter what happens, says Ian. Joe says solid, please. Think you mean sold? I don't know. Benji says, would you want Vlahovic if the Kane and Osimhen deals don't go through? I did. But after chatting to Vidic about him and him sort of rubbishing the idea that it would be good enough, I have cooled on him a little bit. Abdul says, Varane's ability slowly declining. Kim starts. I think it's a bit slower than you're giving him credit for, but yeah, I think he's on the backside of his career. Tam May says, who would you rather have? Last night's transfer rumours, Neymar or Kane? Kane all day long. I don't want Neymar anywhere near us. I don't get this obsession with Neymar. Look, is he quite an effective player? Yeah. Is he good? Yeah. I think that you've got to have more of a team player, and I wouldn't have him. No, I don't think he would suit English football either, to be honest with you. IR says Varane's very much in the twilight of his career. Wouldn't be surprised if he retired in the next 3 years. Interesting. Peter Knight. Yeah, I didn't touch on this actually, but yeah, I did mean to mention this. He also brings in the option for a free at the back if needed. He does that. And I wonder if that's something we're going to switch to for next season for those away games that you maybe want to get a better result out than when we lost. Furquan says, how good is Rubio? Is he better than Kone, Lafitte or Koku? I wasn't keen on him for some of the personality and off-the-field stuff that we were hearing about him last summer. And I was quite happy that we didn't get him in the end. And I think my gut instinct, he's had a good season. He's been pretty good this season. My gut instinct is that I still don't really want him. And I think, yeah, if you've got the options of a Kone or a Lafitte over a Rabiot, I'd probably still go in that direction as well, actually. And why is that different to bringing in someone like a Sabitzer? Because I know the age profile is quite similar. I just think you already know what you're getting from a personality and squad harmony point of view with Sabitzer. And for me, that plays such a part into it. I think that's a really important part of football that's often overlooked. Red says, did I hear Carragher apologising to Martinez last night? Yeah, he's had his surprise signing of the season. I don't think he's been that much of a surprise. I think, the signs were there that it was going to be good. I think what we've got to do is we've got to go back and wonder how close he was to signing for Arsenal. And would he have got them over the line? That's the question that we should be asking. Remember, we robbed him off Arsenal. Seemingly robbed him off Arsenal. Tino says, if Neymar came to United, it would be a circus like Ronaldo or Pogba all over again. I don't want that for United. Yeah, I got a little bit of that as well. Will says, or Free Will Defender says, I take Kane and Tony up front as backup. You're not getting Tony as a backup, and I don't also think you're going to get Tony either. I think United's stance over what's happened with Mason Greenwood and the fact that he hasn't played for the club just yet, I think speaks absolute volumes. I expect he'll probably be sold in the summer, and I don't think United could do that and then get somebody in that's just been convicted of gambling. I know that those two things are completely different, and actually one of them is technically hasn't had a case brought against him by CPS. However, if they made a stance on one thing like this, I think that they wouldn't go and buy a player that's just been convicted of something. I don't think that makes any sense whatsoever. Brian says, United's Academy Director Nick Cox has labelled Evan Ferguson a £50 million mistake after they failed to sign him on youth terms during a trial. Fuck's sake, yeah, he's good. He is good. Are we doing any meetups on the US tour, says Peter? Yes, we will be. We was literally just planning prior to me going live about what we're going to be doing in America. I'm in New York, or we fly out, not sure when we land. We fly out to New York on the 19th of July. There's going to be all sorts of stuff planned. The whole fan channel is going. TBC on whether I'm taking Ronaldo with me yet or not. But yeah, we're trying to figure it out. Don't exactly know what's going to be going on just yet, and where and what the situation will be in terms of meetups. I'm still looking for a videographer that can meet me out there, rather than me, flying somebody out from here. So if anyone knows any videographers, I need one in New York, one in San Diego, possibly one in Houston, one in LA, one in Vegas. So just need show reels and rates, send into my email address. That's on social media. But yeah, I'm hoping to do some vlogging, do some activities, do that sort of stuff. Should be a good time. Knight says 3 weeks till the window opens and haven't got the ownership sorted. Superb, innit? Scott says, did I just read that Cancelo is available on a free? That'd be an interesting right back, wouldn't it? Hell of an interesting one. Andrew says, this time last year we were getting Eriksen, Timber, Nunes, and Frankie de Jong. Let's see what happens. Were we getting Nunes? I think we might have been actually. I think we were looking at him at least. We were certainly linked to him. Whether or not it's true or not, I don't know. Ryan says we should be targeting a younger centre back. Find whoever the best under 21 centre backs, and get them. For example, Bella Kotchap, Levi Colwill. Colwill, I would take a massive gamble on him right now as well, to be honest. Red says, seeing as we are selling Henderson, who are we going to get in? Don't know. Darren says, I like Rabiot's powerful running similar to Gravenberch while at Ajax. I just think it's a bit of a chopper. Verratti's on a free. And it's, I don't know if Verratti's the right fit for United, but I really like him. And a bit like Saul. And by the way, Saul would have been a success at United. He just went to Chelsea where they had 8 players in his position. They never learned, did it? And it didn't work out for him, partially because of that to me. But yeah, you can get Verratti and Cancelo on a free, potentially. Joe says, Kimmich swap with Casemiro. Bayern Munich aren't letting Kimmich go. Forget about that noise. James says, I live in the USA. I'll do it for free if you want. I mean, there's no need for anyone to do it for free. But yeah, get in touch, please. And we'll have a chat. Unlisted Lizard said, you guys are brilliant. Look on your faces and the vibe are priceless. Combined with this, I watch you more than anyone on YouTube. Oh, nice one, pal. David says, why doesn't the academy produce good centre-backs? There hasn't been one for years. I'll tell you why. To come through as a striker, you can be played on the wing and you can get dripped into the team a little bit. To come through as a centre mid and to come through as a centre half, you kind of have to be the done deal. And it's a position of extreme importance. It's probably why you don't really see goalkeepers coming through so much. They have to go away and get minutes. You need minutes. You need minutes, and you have to develop with minutes. And it's very hard to get those minutes and develop unless you're getting on loan or something of that sort of type. So it's very difficult to bring those through. I think it's easier to bring wingers and forwards through than it is centre mids and centre halves. Stu Mack says, United have only produced Greenwood and Rashford since 1992, Mickey Mouse Academy. Well, if that's the case, what other academy's done better? What other academy has done better than that then in England? Because I'll tell you this. You look at the number of Premier League winners that Manchester United have produced, and I'm not talking necessarily about the ones that have done it just at United, like Tom Cleverley, and John O'Shea and Wes Brown and Darren Fletcher, because guess what? They're all academy players. But the likes of Danny Welbeck had a full career in the Premier League and a full England international. That's a success for United. You look at what Adnan Januzaj has done in his career and what he's done internationally and wherever. That's a success for our academy. Look, United, Barcelona, Ajax are the 3 academies that provide the most minutes to players in the top 5 leagues in European football. That is a fact. That is just a pure fact. Over the last 10 years, those are the teams that do the most in terms of minutes for academy footballers. That's not just at our club, but minutes total for players that came through our academy. Those are your finishing schools. If you can play at those clubs between 16 and 20 years of age, they're going to ground you and put you on somewhere. Yeah, the likes of Danny Simpson, Josh Bardsley. You know, there's players that have come through United that have gone under. Danny Drinkwater. You know, there's been so many, and they'll continue to be. Right now in the Premier League, you've got Joe Rothwell just chilling there at Bournemouth. It's always, Andrew there says, Fergie always said it was success if players had careers in football and the academy facilitated that. Correct. Yeah, Pogba, PK, all come through the academy. So yeah. Some bozo, notice you're falling in line with Glazer ethos recently. What's brought this change? Can you provide examples, please? Because what the fuck are you on about? Robert says, sure, it was only a couple of years ago that you could name at least one ex-United player in every Prem team. Yeah, it happens, yeah. Lingard scored a winner in an FA Cup final. Correct. Just because they're not winning Ballon d'Ors doesn't mean that they're not producing. Yeah. Where's Liverpool's? Outside of Trent, name me another Premier League player that came through Liverpool for such a big club. Sam Johnston? Yeah. Ant says, how many top flight players have not followed traditional path? I know there are a few who didn't go pro till early 20s. There's actually so much. There's so many different ways for it to happen. I mean, one of the things that we're doing with Paddock is trying to find, I don't know if we'll ever get players that have played in the Premier League that have come through playing in our first team. I would think probably not for a long time. Because of the level that we're at currently. But I think that there's a pathway that can be replicated. I mean, we have Ash as sporting director and Ash's own career, for those who weren't aware. Ash was released at West Brom at 16, went and played for Hensford in non-league, moved to Stockport, and then went, I think, from National League all the way through League Two, moved to Swansea, all the way into the Premier League, captain of his country. Like, there's not many who've done what Marcus Rashford did, who, you know, make a debut at 17, 18 in a Premier League side and then stay there for life. That's so rare. That doesn't really happen. Caleb says, did Solanke go through the academy? He would probably be it. Exactly. So people start criticising United's, and Liverpool's other big fucking one that they've done, who I'd still consider a success, by the way, is fucking Solanke. Relax. Vlad says, do I think United will spend big in the summer? No, I don't. I think it'll be propped up a little bit by sales, unless we're going to get creative in our accounting, which we might be able to. Jays Parker says, what's Hugo and Charlie McNeil up to? Charlie McNeil's just finished his loan. It's quite successful, I believe. We'll see what he does when he comes back to the club. Solanke was at Chelsea. Was he at Chelsea? Did I mix him up with somebody else? Is what I know. I think Solanke is the same age as Rashford. I think they're the same year. Are they the same? He's a 97. Marcus is a 97. Yeah, so they're the same age group. But I don't know why I thought. Is he not? Was he Liverpool? I don't even know anymore. Yeah, Solanke was Chelsea. All right, yeah. There you go. Yvonne says, Nicky Butt from Louvain, Close, Gorton, friends of the family. Brewster. Yeah, I mean, they sold Brewster, didn't they? No, I wasn't on about Brewster. I just got mixed up. It was Solanke I was thinking of, but I just got mixed up where he came from. Darren says, I think we should be promoting an academy centre-back into the first team, but as you said, position is tough enough and mistakes can't be tolerated. They'll crucify him. Yeah, I think Deschamps Menard had a really good loan last season. I don't know why it's not really happened for him this season. But, you know, I think he's someone with real potential, as is Ted and Mengi. You know, I think you just got to see what happens with him. Daniel says, I'd love to get Kale and Hoyland. It'd be expensive, but definitely worth it. Someone here saying Solanke was Liverpool. Who the fuck knows, son? Let's have a look. Well, he did play at Liverpool. I think that's probably what I'm mixing up. He did play at Liverpool, but he was Chelsea Academy. So there you go. That was what we were mixing up. Joe says, 2 ball playing centre-backs, Martinez, Kim, perfect for Ten Hag style of play. Joe says, Steve United young left-back has been on loan. He's been great this season. Yep, he's one that I think has got a shot. Amaya says, people think Chelsea and City are better academies than United's. Or why do people think Chelsea and City are better academies than United? Well, United have started doing this a little bit lately. We did it with Pogba. We did it with Nishan Burkhardt. We did it with Chong. We did it with Fosu Mensah. Chelsea do this on another level, and City also do this as well. So they will buy the best 15 and 16-year-olds in the country. The scale that Chelsea were doing it on was hilarious. So they were building like sugar daddy under 18s, and the focus was on trying to win. Chelsea have produced a lot of top level footballers, and I bet if you looked at players that had come through Chelsea right now, they'd have so many in top flights because of the volume of like players who was mega highly rated at Marseille that they took, at Southampton that they took, at Middlesbrough that they took. So rather than allowing those players to come through where they were and cost 30-40 million in 2 years' time, they was paying 2-3 million for them, getting them up to speed, boshing them out on loan, and then just fucking them off and flipping them for a little bit of a profit. It probably kept their academy going, but I don't think it was in the spirit of what an academy is there to exist to do. Giovanni says United Academy ain't on the level of Chelsea. Get off spices. Again, you have to look at what people are doing. United are trying to develop players. Chelsea are buying their own players in. There's such a different model to it. I think Mason Mount might be one of the ones that actually played from like under 12s, under 13s, under 14s, but that's rare for the ones that are coming through Chelsea. You know, you're seeing them increasingly get players that come in at 16 and then push through. Grace says, glad the club is prioritising the correct positions, getting a centre-back when we need a 9 and 2 midfielders. Again, you don't know if it's priority or if it's just the one that's the easiest to get furthest down the line. IR says, Steve, why do we pay 37 million quid for Amad Diallo when he had about 70 minutes of football to his name? We gambled, and it might work, it might not work. It's too early to say just yet, I think, still. Andy says, I think we need to absolutely get rid of Maguire, McTominay, Marshall, because they suck the energy out of the fans and the rest of the team. Interesting. Robert says, Brentford scrapped the academy because they were losing so many to the likes of Chelsea. There you go. Abhishek says, Mount can be a good cover for Bruno. I think he's going to Liverpool. That's kind of what the grapevine's saying, at least, anyway. Ryder will be back a little bit later. I think it's later tonight, or it might be tomorrow. You'll have to wait and see. With a scout report, so tune in for that. Otherwise, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.